I love the idea that my plants are able to change with the season, and as spring brings all of this nastiness of pollen and weather, my plants enjoy the change in climate. So for today, I figured I'd show you a few plants that I am loving at the moment and a few that I'm not so much enjoying. By the way, my name is Aaron and you are watching Life with Foliage. Thank you for clicking on this video. And if you enjoy plant content just like this, feel free to check out my channel where you can find more plant videos. Now let's get into some things that I am loving. Now I've already talked about this plant before. This is the Hoya Icensis, and I am more than in love with this plant. I'm borderline obsessed. There's some new growth right at the top. And honestly, it's got some stems as well that are growing with little specks on them where leaves are going to come through. This makes me so happy. I love the size of these leaves. Now it's a little dehydrated at the moment. I need to give it some water, but I am absolutely adoring this plant at the moment. I love Hoyas. If you've watched my channel before, you know Hoyas are my favorite plants. And this one exudes a lot of what I like in a plant. It's called Life with Foliage. All of this is given the foliage that I need and that I want in a plant. So I'm truly appreciating this at the moment. Another plant that I am loving is a plant that I actually recently repotted, and that is my Zenzi raven. Now, this plant actually I thought was gonna die on me. I repotted it in some fresh soil and I've been keeping it hydrated a lot more. And now I'm starting to see this new growth come out. And this is where we're going to see some additional leaf activation and that stem's going to grow. And it just makes me so excited. And I am in love with the fact that it has continued and it has not died. This is the original. It's always been there, but this is the newest and I'm just excited to see what it's going to do. Staying along the lines of plants that I've recently repotted, I actually have a video out that talks about and goes over watering as I was preparing to leave for 6 weeks. And in that video, I also repotted this Monstera. Now this is a cutting of my mother plant, and I am just in awe of its new growth here. We've got 2 new leaves coming through. If you take a look at that video, you'll notice that this plant was in water propagation for close to 3 years probably. For it to now push out new leaves after being in water propagation, and I've now got it in soil, makes me so happy because I'm going to be able to continue growing this plant. And I just can't believe that this is happening. So I am definitely in love with the fact that this plant has continued growing and that I haven't killed it yet. And this is going to be one of my first Monsteras. I believe I had a Monstera dubia first, but this is definitely first of my Monsteras and the first Deliciosa. Now my last plant in the absolute love category will be one that I was told takes the longest to produce pups and grow, and that is my Whale Fin. Now I have 2. This is the second in the collection. My first one, my largest one, actually doesn't look too good. Of course, with all the travel that I was doing, being away, not all my plants got the perfect care, and I think it dried out too much, so it's starting to yellow, and I think I'm going to lose one of the leaves, but I still have one that's going strong, and I also have this growing strong. I can separate this if I need to. If I start to notice any yellowing or anything in any of these 2 leaves, as these are the 2 oldest leaves, I can actually start to propagate it and then only grow this one. It is growing at a weird angle, as when it sits flat, it leans back. Both of them do, but I still love it. I'm so excited that it actually produced a pup in my care. I've heard people talk about it takes years among years for not only for them to grow big, but for them to grow additional leaves. And I don't know if it's because of the variety of this one, because of the variegation in it, or if it is strictly because it's been in my care, my great care. So now we are going to take a look at some plants that I am not so in love with. We're going to go from greenest to brownest. You'll see why. Our first is this Phalaenopsis. Now, this Phalaenopsis was honestly a trash Phalaenopsis. This orchid came from a friend who just didn't know what to do with orchids, and after the stem fell off, he decided that he wanted to trash it, and I said, no, I'll take it. And I thought I was going to be able to bring it back, and I haven't had much luck. But I'm not sad. I have 5 or 6 Phalaenopsis orchids in my collection, and most of them are thriving at the moment. So I'm okay losing one. In fact, I'm okay even just getting rid of it. I know I stole it from him or borrowed it, took it from him because I thought I could bring it back. And since that didn't happen, it's kind of in the way now. So I still try to water it as much as possible. I still try to take care of it. It just doesn't kick back. The next one is a cutting that I got from a plant swap here in Charlotte, and that is a pencil cactus. Now, this little guy is definitely alive still. I don't see any signs of rot or anything. I don't smell anything. I do not see roots though. And it's in a clear cup so I could see the roots, and I don't see anything. Additionally, I have not seen growth on this at all. I got this alongside Nick with Plant Nerd Alert. We both were at this event and got the same plant, and his has already started growing beautifully. And this has been the same since I got it day one. So I'm not too ecstatic about this. I kind of only am keeping it just because it is still green. It hasn't fully died yet. But yeah, I don't know how much longer I'll hold on to this. Now, this one is very sad. Now, I showed this plant a couple of videos ago, and I was so excited that it was thriving and kicking, and though it had some brown leaves, it only had 1 or 2, which is natural. They were older leaves, and I wasn't that concerned. Then I came home after 6 weeks of being away and came home to this. Yeah, there is still green, but it's not enough green that I think I'll be able to bring it back to life. I mean, yeah. But I know what went wrong. I should have transferred this to soil much earlier than I should have transferred it to soil. It's been in spag moss since I got it, and I brought it from Florida whenever I went to PlantCon in 2025. It did really well for the year, basically, that it was alive, and it actually grew 2 leaves in my care, but I don't see it growing anymore. So this is going in the trash, actually, probably tonight. And going back on my wish list. So to all my plant friends out there, if you have this plant, please leave a message in the comment. Maybe we can do a trade. Maybe you just would love to send me a cutting. Either way, it's going back on the wish list. This is the last one. I am not happy with this plant at all. This is a Hoya Sulawesiana. I think that's right. or was, I should say. It even blends in with my background. I got this plant at PlantCon in 2025. It's been a year in my care, and it wasn't a. It was 2 leaves when I first got it. Let me see if I have a picture. Yes, I do. So as you'll see in this picture, it was 2 leaves in my care when I first got it, and one of the leaves rotted off. I don't know what happened exactly. It sat in spag moss for a little bit, and when that first leaf rotted off, I took it out of spag moss to make sure the roots were okay, and what few roots were there seemed to be fine. So I wrapped it back in a spag mixture of spag and perlite, if I remember, and I put it in a wetter consistency to try and promote some additional root growth. Well, then I decided to move it into tree fern mix. I don't think it liked it, nor do I think it was possibly wet enough. I don't know. I would love to try this Hoya again. Maybe one with more than just 2 leaves of the cutting, so I could try and maybe cut it down to, oh Lord, I'm making a mess. So I could try to cut it into multiple cuttings and try it in multiple options to try and get anything out of it. I'm so sad and mad and annoyed, and all of the angry side of my emotions come out for this. It is going in the trash tonight. I saved it just for this video, and there's no use of saving it anymore. So yes, farewell to 2 plants out of the last 4 that we took a look at. But that's how it goes. So that's what I'm loving and what I'm not at the moment. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If one of these plants are a plant that you've been looking at for a while, let me know down in the comments below. And if you have any questions on any of the plants in my collection, feel free to note that in the comments down below as well. Hopefully in the coming months, I have less and less plants that I'm not in love with, and I have more and more plants that I am in love with to show you. And until then, we'll chat soon.